You know that feeling, right? Where you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to, you're dieting, you're hitting the gym, but that real sense of energy and vitality just feels out of reach? Well, what if the secret isn't about what you cut out, but what your body can actually use? Today, we're going to dig into a really interesting plant-based perspective that claims to tackle exactly that problem. All right, before we jump in, we've got to do the responsible thing here. Just a quick heads up. All this information is for educational purposes only. It is absolutely not medical advice. So please always talk to your doctor or healthcare provider before you start any new supplement or health plan. Okay, let's get into it. Take a look at this number, 42.4%. Seems random, right? Well, that's the percentage of adults right here in the US who are currently classified as obese, based on the sources we've been looking at. And this isn't just some dry statistic. It's the backdrop to a huge, ongoing conversation about our health and why so many of us feel like we're just stuck in a rut. And that statistic really brings us to a challenge that's so common today, something that goes way beyond just a number on a scale. It's this idea of being overfed and undernourished.
So what does that even mean, overfed and undernourished? It's a crazy paradox if you think about it. We are surrounded by food literally everywhere, yet our bodies might be starving for the actual nutrients they need to function. And that leads to those feelings we all know too well, the low energy, the brain fog, just that general feeling of blah, no matter how much food we eat.
And this is where the frustration really kicks in for a lot of people. It's this gap, right? The gap between all the effort we're putting in and the results we're actually seeing. So let's talk about why the good old diet and exercise advice sometimes just doesn't cut it. The source material we're digging into here makes a pretty bold claim. For a lot of us, diet and exercise by themselves just aren't enough to get those lasting, long-term results. It points to this really common cycle. You start a new plan, you're super motivated, maybe you even see some quick progress. But then it becomes almost impossible to maintain, and you slide right back to where you started. Sound familiar? So if that traditional path has its limits, what's the alternative? Well, this is where our source proposes a totally different strategy. It's a plant-based approach that shifts the focus from what you're eating to how well your body can actually absorb the good stuff. Now, at the very core of this whole approach is something they call negative ion technology. And the claim they make here is, well, it's a big one. They say this proprietary tech allows for 100% absorption of the plant-based nutrients. The whole idea is that your body gets to use the full, unadulterated benefit of every single ingredient. That, they argue, is the real game changer. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that sounds pretty advanced. To build some trust in their process, the source points to a whole bunch of certifications. You can see them here. They operate in an FDA-registered facility, they have ISO certifications for quality management and food safety, plus they're kosher and halal certified. This is all laid out to show that their manufacturing standards are up to snuff. So, what's actually powering this whole system? Let's peel back the curtain and look at the 5 key ingredients the source highlights and what they're claimed to do for you. As you can see, it's a pretty powerful lineup of natural stuff. First up, you've got moringa leaves, sometimes called the miracle tree, which is said to support overall health. Then there's brown algae, which is in there to help with metabolism. You also have chromium picolinate, which is often linked to regulating blood sugar and kicking those pesky cravings. Then there's flax seeds to help you feel full and support digestion. And finally, Garcinia Cambogia, a tropical fruit that's believed to help with appetite. Now, this is a really crucial point that the source material makes over and over again. The end goal here is so much bigger than just weight loss. The real focus isn't on looking a certain way, it's about feeling amazing. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's all about a massive shift in mindset. You're moving away from the old goals, right? Away from just trying to look a certain way, restricting yourself and relying on temporary fixes. Instead, you're moving toward a new goal. Nourishing your body from the inside out, feeling truly great in your own skin, and reclaiming that vitality for the long haul. So, what's the big payoff at the end of the day? Well, according to the source, it's not just about managing your weight. It's about getting your energy back, feeling that boost in confidence, and ultimately just reclaiming that spark, that vitality that makes you feel like you can take on anything. And that really leaves us with one final, powerful thought to chew on. What if, all this time, we've been focused on the wrong part of the equation in our health journeys? What if real, lasting vitality isn't about what you lose, but about what your body can finally, truly absorb?